Oh.
Sit down, big fella!
Oh shit. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of scared of Naruto Running in my intro, because if I did, my piece is right high. Imagine I just kicked it. It would break. I mean, it wouldn't break. Yo guys, what is up with this video? We're actually Film Theory Naruto Run is the best run. Alright, I guess they're gonna say how, you know that run, you know the little kids do, you know, they definitely have no friends. But how they are apparently probably the best run. I mean, probably the fastest run. I need to make this video quickly because my camera's about to fucking die. If my camera dies, then you know you're gonna have to hit. You're gonna watch my face. I mean, that'll probably be better for your eyes, but I don't know. Let's get into the video. Alright, 3, 2, 1.
And remember, kids, Kakashi wore his mask for 500 episodes spanning over 5 years. You can wear a mask for a few darn months.
That's true. I need to be careful because if this thing stops recording. That was weird.
Hello,
Why did
Internet.
it bug out?
Welcome to Film Theory, brought to you today in partnership with Full Sail University. You know, among anime series, fewer have been more culturally omnipresent than Boruto's dad. And it's not hard to see why. Ninjas are just inherently cool. And Naruto struck a sweet balance of comedy and action, with a cast of characters that many of us grew to love. And boy, did we get to spend a lot of time with those characters. The show has been running in one form or another for over 20 years. That's 700 plus episodes of runtime, and running is one of the things that this series is synonymous with, because across all that time, all those characters and all the memes asking why Kakashi's mask doesn't burn when he breathes fire, one of the most memorable parts of the show is, in fact, the running. Arms back, body forward, now you're running like a real ninja. And while this running form certainly existed long before its appearance on Naruto, it was the first anime to truly popularize the concept in the cultural vernacular, and thus it came to be known as the Naruto Run, with it really blowing up in 2019 BC. That's before COVID, in case you were wondering, when Naruto runners made national headlines by trying to infiltrate Area 51. Ugh, such a simpler time. Anyway, the concept behind ninja running makes fundamental sense, right? It conserves energy, rather than waste energy moving your arms together with your legs, or throwing your body back and forth with each arm swing. Leaving your arms motionless behind you should both preserve energy and make the running more efficient. Other YouTube channels have covered the science of the Naruto Run in the past, including my buddy Kyle Hill in his show Because Science, all of them coming more or less to the conclusion that the run is not only less effective, but also potentially dangerous to high-performance athletes. I, on the other hand, disagree. It's my theory today that there is a very solid reason backed by real-world science that the ninjas we see in Naruto, and warriors that we see throughout all of anime, and heck, even Sonic the Hedgehog himself, are choosing to run in exactly this form. Today, we justify strange kid in gym class who chooses to run this way. Today, we Sasuke choke the naysayers and legitimize the Naruto anime run once and for all. Real-world sprinters are a good place to start when it comes to determining the fastest run times. In races like the 100-meter dash, tenths and even hundredths of seconds make the difference between gold and silver, which means that if there are tactics to give even a tiny edge in a race, sprinters are absolutely gonna use them. So why then are they pumping their arms like a noob and not ninja sprinting like an elite? Well, a lot of it has to do with balance. Whenever you run, you're constantly shifting between putting weight on your right foot and your left foot. Your center of gravity is normally located in between your two legs, which means that when you're suddenly putting all your weight on your right leg, your body naturally leans left, and when you put all that weight back on the left leg, your body naturally leans right. By pumping their arms, sprinters are counterbalancing the constant shifting of their center of gravity. And that's not all. A study was done at the University of Houston which looked at various running positions with non-swinging arms, crossed arms, hands on head, and of course, the Naruto Run. In each case, these alternate forms increased overall energy consumption. They were less efficient. Runners who swung their arms used 3% less energy relative to those using the Naruto style. In short, it seems like when challenged with actual real-world science, the Naruto Run is a dud. How do you feel about that, Dad Rudo?
Cause people called me a failure. I'll prove them wrong.
Well, call me Shikamaru, because I'm here to help you do exactly exactly that. You see,
Wow.
most of the upsides
Wow.
of the Naruto Run should be in its more aerodynamic form. The runner is shaped more like a compact wedge,
More
cutting through
aerodynamic,
the air
you know,
more
see?
effectively than a normal upright running position. This form, in theory, is supposed to reduce the runner's overall drag force. I suppose drag foce, as I apparently mistyped it in the script. Good job, Matt. Anyway, as you run, you're constantly pushing air molecules out of your way.
Yeah.
Likewise, those air molecules are resisting
When you go
against
high,
your
you have more air
movement in
molecules
whatever
move out of the
small
way.
way they can. When moving at low speeds, that effect is barely noticeable, right? But the effect gets increasingly
When you move
higher
fast,
the
you run.
faster you go.
But
if you've
I'm
ever
with the
stepped part
science
of your
in that.
body
No,
out
I'm
the
not.
car
I'm
window
not.
while
Don't
driving
test me,
down the
please.
highway, you know what I'm talking about. The Naruto Run, so the thinking goes, reduces drag force because it reduces your profile, meaning
That's
less
the
air
best
is hitting
feeling in the
you
world.
as
You know when
you
you're
run.
going
Not
like
only
highway,
that,
right?
but it
and you
also
put your face
shapes
in the
your
window,
body in such
he
a
goes,
way as to reduce
flip.
the coefficient
That
of
was so good.
drag by
That's the
making
best
your
feeling
body
in the world.
more aerodynamic. A study found that runners who wore more aerodynamic clothing designed to reduce the drag force on their body had a tiny advantage over
So
those
doing
who
this to
didn't,
be
shaving
faster,
a mere
right?
0.01 seconds off of their 100-meter dash times. That tiny bit does actually matter. After all, in the 2016 Olympics, the difference between the silver and bronze medalist times was 0.02 seconds. As a result, many Olympic sprinters have taken to wearing aerodynamic Swift suits. So again, why aren't they running
I
like a
decreased my
super
time for
cool
1
ninja
microsecond.
if
Let's get
every
it.
optimization here
Mario.
counts? Well, the benefit here
Mario's
just
like
isn't
this.
worth it.
No,
You
no,
can
like
wear
that.
a Swift
Nah.
suit without it interfering with your overall running form. Conversely, the tiny benefit that the Naruto Run gives in being more aerodynamic just isn't enough to offset the balance problems and increased energy usage that comes with it. Humans just aren't running fast enough to have drag factor in as a significant problem. And that, my friends, is where everyone else is making their mistake when covering this topic. Because here's the thing, Naruto and the gang aren't just normal runners. Sure, for real-world sprinters, drag force is basically negligible. But if you look at some of the feats of speed that we see throughout Naruto, the ninjas start to look a lot less like real-world Olympic sprinters and a lot more like high-performance race cars. In other words, they're reaching speeds where the drag force acting on their body would be a significant factor. And that means we have to take a closer look at how drag would affect the body, not of a normal human sprinter, but of a ninja whose speeds border on the supernatural. The ninjas that we see in Naruto are dodging laser energy blasts, running at speeds that approach the sound barrier, and dodging attacks that literally have the word supersonic in the title. Supersonic slicing wave! Those speeds, drag force suddenly becomes a real drag. Just look at the equation for drag force. Now, you don't have to understand any of this right now. We'll get to it in a minute. But the one thing that I want to call out is right here. Drag force equals a bunch of things times v squared. That's velocity squared, which means that if you're having an object moving twice as fast, it doesn't just double the drag force, it quadruples it. 4 times the velocity means 16 times the drag. That is why the drag force acting on a 25-mile-per-hour or 40-kilometer-an-hour sprinter can be so different from the drag force acting on a race car that reaches 10 times that amount of speed.
That's 100 times more drag, and there's more surface, so
found that the
more air
equivalent
particles in the way.
drag force experienced by a human running at 25 miles an hour or 40 kilometers an hour would be the equivalent of about 9 pounds of force, just around 40 newtons.
9 pounds
Far
force.
more
That's
drag
not-
force
that's
than
nine.
any of us will ever experience in our lives,
Exactly.
since Usain Bolt, the fastest runner alive, is just barely over that mark. Taking what we know about drag force, that means that Naruto, running with the same normal upright running form at 250 miles an hour or 400 kilometers an hour, would be experiencing a whopping 930 pounds of force.
That's like a fat man
acting
sitting on your
against
chest.
him via
Is
wind
going on
resistance.
you, bro.
If he manages to get close to sonic speeds at around 750 miles an hour or 1,200 kilometers an hour, that drag force is going to be magnified to 8,370 pounds
it was like
of
double
force.
the
That's
thing,
not
but
just
like
impressive speed. That requires insane
10 times more.
amounts of strength. You literally are
Sonic
cutting
is
through
jacked.
thousands of pounds of wind directly blowing against your forward motion. But again, all of that is using a traditional running form. If the Naruto Run is indeed able to reduce that drag force by, say, like, even as low as 10%, that would be the equivalent of him attaching rocket thrusters to his legs, exerting a force of 837 pounds, propelling him forward. So, is the Naruto Run making any sort of difference?
Yes.
Well, let's take a closer look at that
the
drag
hell's
force
wrong with you?
equation again. again, all of this in the beginning here isn't going to change. Velocity is just how fast we're running, and that little thing looking like a P is actually measuring the density of the fluid that we're running through, neither of which are going to be affected by the runner's form. It's really these last two variables at the end where we can see the effectiveness or lack thereof of the Naruto Run. The area A here is actually based on
don't clear out the video, please.
Of the runner, which basically just means it's looking at the area of their front, everything that's hitting the air as you run. A runner can reduce that by, you know it, crouching down and leaning forward, which is exactly what we see with the Naruto Run. Just by measuring his height in different shots, we can see that leaning forward, he's effectively reducing the height of his orthographic projection and the overall drag on his body by about one quarter, 26% if we're being exact. Coefficient of drag, meanwhile, CD over here, is a bit more complicated to figure out. In fact, the real-world method for calculating coefficient of drag is usually less about plugging numbers into an equation and more about looking at experimental data. And go figure, there just ain't a lot of real-world data on fictional supersonic ninjas. But we can at least get a better idea of how much drag reduction a ninja might be able to get from leaning forward and trying to make their body as aerodynamic as possible by looking at a few comparisons. According to NASA, the least aerodynamic shape was a vertical flat plate, and the most aerodynamic shape was a typical airplane wing. A bullet experiences just 23% of the drag force experienced by the flat plate, and an airfoil experiences a mere 3.5% of the drag experienced by that flat plate, which goes to show that just by having the right shape, you could reduce the drag force on your body by as much as 96.5%. Now, simply leaning forward isn't enough to magically morph your body into the shape of an airfoil, but studies done on skydivers find that depending on how you position your body, you can reduce the coefficient of drag by as much as 30%. And that is in addition to the drag reduction Naruto is already getting from bending over. Factoring both of those into the drag equation, we get ourselves an effective drag reduction of 48.2%, nearly half, which, if he's moving at the near supersonic speeds we talked about earlier, is the equivalent of giving himself an additional 4,335 pounds of thrust when he runs. That is the equivalent of having 2 turbojets strapped onto his body. When you look at it from those numbers, there is no doubt that the Naruto Run is the superior running style for any high-speed, high-performance ninja. Of course, it kind of goes without saying that all the people who've done experiments showing that this style of running won't help you run faster are technically right. But when you're dealing with the velocities that we see in Naruto, the seemingly insignificant factor of drag force suddenly becomes a lot more significant. So, while I may have let down that weird kid in gym class for his awkward running style, sorry my friend, it's not gonna help you. I have just empowered a whole lot of anime fans in science class to pass their aerodynamics lesson with flying colors.
That's so true.
But hey, that's
my camera down.
just
a theory of film
theory. And speaking of passing classes with flying colors, today...
Nope, that's the end of the video, alright? Naruto Run is more efficient, okay? It's not for efficient for humans, obviously, but for faster animals. You know, like, think about a cheer, alright? It's on the floor, but it's not gonna run like this, man. What the hell is that shit? It's gonna run on full fours, because less surface area, you feel me? Yeah. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe my channel, go check out the video, and you know, Naruto Run everywhere now, just, you know, just to piss everyone off, and peace.